All right, so welcome back to Granite Gardens, guys. Today we are going to be harvesting some potatoes. I grew them in buckets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 buckets. And I'm just gonna show you what I do. Obviously, they're in a bucket, so basically all I'm gonna do is dump it out into the wheelbarrow here, sift through it to get the potatoes, and then I'll move on to the next bucket, separating as I go. That's pretty much it. So we're all done, all the buckets. It's very hot. We went through them all. This is the last wheelbarrow of dirt. This is actually number 3. I'll turn the camera around and then I'll show you what we got. So this was the harvest. I'll get a poundage on here and share that with you guys, but not the biggest harvest we've ever seen. Also not the smallest. Still got some work to do when it comes with potatoes. But luckily, what everybody can hope for is that we grew more than what we had purchased as seed potatoes. So we definitely have more, so we did something right. But we still got to tune it in and figure out how we can get the most out of them. And I'm going to take you back here and I'm going to show you what I'm doing with all the extra dirt, because they weren't diseased or anything like that, but generally you don't want to grow the same plant in the same dirt, or many other plants in the same dirt that you've already used. So I'm gonna give all these little seedling potatoes that were in there a second life. So when you pull your potato out, you'll obviously get quite a number of potatoes right there by the bottom of the root, but you'll also get a bunch of little baby roots, baby tubers. And you can actually plant those. They won't make the biggest plant ever, but I've seen them do pretty well and actually produce. So that's generally what I do. Is save them to reseed them, but I'm not doing a full reseeding this year just because dirt's expensive. So this time we're going to give them just an extra push and see if they'll give us another round. So I just dumped all the dirt back here in this little bare patch right next to a compost pile, so there'll be a little good runoff for them. And basically all the little teeny tiny potatoes are going to be in here, the little seed potatoes. So they may come up, they may not, but it's better than just throwing the dirt away in a pile and never expecting anything to happen. So it's actually a perfect time because this tree right here is called a Cataloopa tree, and it grows these big heart-shaped leaves, and they get these caterpillars on them. And the caterpillars chew this whole tree down to absolutely nothing. And then the worms disappear, and then the tree grows its foliage back around August, and then all of a sudden the worms come back and they eat the whole thing. So this is a good time because it's nice and bare, so they'll get some sun back here warming up the dirt. And yeah, we might get some extra potatoes. This probably will not yield much of anything, but anything extra is better than nothing extra. This is a Cataloopa worm. I can't zoom in on it. Yeah, there he is. So that's a Cataloopa worm. He's dancing for us. Every once in a while, I don't see any currently, but every once in a while this tree, these worms, will actually get attacked by wasps, and the wasp will actually lay eggs in their back, and that what kind of keeps them down a little bit. But if that's not the circle of life, I don't know what else is. Look at them all. They're all dancing. They're all dancing. Ah! And I saved this one to show you guys. This is what I'm talking about. Right underneath the plant, you'll find some bigger ones, but you'll also find a lot of these ones. You can actually still use these, that's why I saved these ones, but I was just showing you. These ones are good for like little roasted fingerling potatoes. So we got 10 pounds of the yellow potatoes, and we got 4.5 pounds of the purple potatoes. So now I'm gonna take you down into the garden and we're gonna harvest the rest of our root vegetables. All right, so we're walking to the garden. We've got 2 types of beets. They're both like the traditional kind of purple color. And then I've got 1 golden type. Looks like only a few of those. And then we've got some Chinese red meat, not cabbage, radishes. So I'm gonna show you what I did. So we tried to grow them in traditional rows. This is not a very big space. You can see they are relatively in a row. These are the radishes. We actually already pulled up this row of the regular beets, except for that little guy right there. And it's been since the beginning of spring that I direct sowed these, so probably about May. So that's not a terrible size, especially for us over here. Could be better. I mean, look at this other one. We're pulling them just because the time's about right. We want to start some fall crops over here. So you'll get some small ones. You can still eat them. I like pickling the little baby ones or roasting them. This one's a good size. We can do a lot of stuff with that guy. So the coolest part is about beets and radishes, you can do it to them both. But you can actually like kind of use the leaves like kale and kind of fry them up, saute them, reduce them down. That's always fun. I like to give mine to my hungry ladies. So we got a little over 1.5 pounds of radishes and beets together. So not the greatest. We got them from Baker Creek. Germination was high, but I think maybe spacing, light might have been an issue, maybe even the compaction of the dirt. There's a lot of issues that could have arisen, but I'm kind of pleased. Maybe next year we'll get a massive harvest. But we made room for the fall crops. We'll probably get some cabbages down there, maybe even some more Brussels sprouts, because those actually did a lot better so far than I thought they were. Haven't harvested yet from them, but I'm hoping. That's it for me today. We thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to sharing more with you soon.